Hey, everybody. My name is Brianna Green.
Hey, I'm John Green.
And this is the Magnate Agent Podcast. We're so excited to be doing this revamp. If you are familiar with us, you know our journey is all things real estate, lifestyle development, and just growing and evolving in life. And so we're so excited because now you guys can see us. You have tangible footage to know that we're real, we're active, and we've kind of been away for a little while, but we're now back in action and more exciting to see you and you see us.
Oh, yeah. So a little about us. So let's introduce ourselves to our viewers and future viewers and people who don't know us. They don't know who we are. So let's tell them who we are.
Who is John Green Jr., MBA?
Hey, my profession is I'm a mortgage broker at Edge Home Finance. Official Magnate Mortgage Team is my team. Part of the Magnate team here. Everything
Magnate.
I'm a 100% disabled veteran, Army veteran, HOA. I tell my Army vets out there, shout out, from Huntsville, Alabama. We love helping people. That's the reason why we got in real estate. Prior to that, I was an 18-year automotive professional. Master's degree from Liberty University, real estate development. Go Flames, undergrad from Liberty University, automotive dealership management. So whatever I'm into, I have 2 or 3 careers my whole life. Military, automotive, now I'm in real estate. And one of my hobbies, I love sports. So still think, while I may not be as athletic as I used to be, I still like to get out and run with these kids. So I officiate high school sports, do football season about to start, basketball, which will be transitioned to next, and then baseball. Then I'll take a little break, but that's who I am.
Well, in my 30 plus some years of living, I have had way more than 3 careers. But what I enjoy doing is creating, being innovative, thinking outside the box, being the disruptive thinker. And what that has allowed me to do is what we do now in real estate is brokering. And I think that is so important because yes, it's great to have a resource to go to, but it's a greater thing or a greater opportunity to have the resources that can fix any problems. So we're problem solvers in the world of real estate. I'm a real estate broker. I became a real estate broker during COVID actually. And I started in real estate in 2019. I'm multi-licensed in North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama. And now we are running our Magnate Real Estate brokerage here in Huntsville, Alabama. So I'm very excited to start this journey in something new. I come from a background of being a team lead with other brokerages, and then also even starting or managing a boutique brokerage before we decided, hey, why not everything Magnate?
Which kind of backed up to how did we start?
How did we start?
So, being licensed, I think, is key in multiple states. I'm licensed in North Carolina, my wife's home state, Alabama, my home state, Georgia. We spent some time there, in Tennessee, one of our favorite places to visit, plus the borders where we live at. So we try to touch anything that borders where we're at. We try to stay licensed there just in case we have a client that needs to be serviced. We're not going to lose them, especially my wife's home state. She still has people there, so it's able to service those clients. How did we open a brokerage, real estate brokerage?
You got to rewind back to 2020. Well,
it started in 2020. So I got in real estate investing by accident in 2013 when I went to Hendrick Automotive Group. They recruited me there, and I had a house here that I owned. And I said, what do I do with this house? And they paid me to put my house on the market for a set period of time, for a pretty good period of time, and then I ended up finding a renter. So I hired a certain company here in Alabama, and it was a tough time to sell. After 60 days, hey, well, we can transfer it over, see if you can list the house on our management side. House listed, I think within 2 weeks we had it rented. And I rented the house for about 4 years. And for about half of that time, I drew a nice little income. So I learned, I said, wow, this is what they mean by passive income. This is what they mean by actually real estate investing. So, fast forward to that, I did that, came back home, and then 2020, we moved to Huntsville, and we started
Magnate Acquisitions,
which was real estate investing, wholesaling, a little bit of renovations. Did have buy and hold, so that's how we took the little knowledge I had for the buy and holds. We learned on how to wholesale, but the biggest thing we understand was property acquisition. So, and how to make a profit off property acquisition. So, I tell you, during COVID, it was a great time to be in learning how to do real estate, but also being a real estate investor, because we made some we made some good coin. Then.
You could literally trip and fall into a deal.
Different market. Fear, believe it or not, fear and panic is great for an investor. And we found out as novice investors and grew. And fast forward, we talked about, we actually in detail, and then we presented to another investor about possibly partnering to open up a brokerage. And she had this idea of starting a team. She did. And then,
well, let's back it up, because I come from two entrepreneurs, so I never, ever had the idea of working for someone. Of course, everything has stepping stones, and you have to grow and learn to get to that next level. So I started in real estate. My mom kind of actually purchased properties and has them as buy and holds, and it made sense. I'm like, well, she's doing this and it's appearing lucrative. Why not get my license so I can help more people do the same thing that she's doing? And so when we merged together, it was kind of like a light bulb, because I was already in real estate. You had already dipped your toe in it with your rental property, and coming together and really taking, I think, your experience from your 3 careers, and then my experience from my 50 million careers and customer service and business and entrepreneurship and advertising, things like that, and just piecing it all together to make this magnificent Magnate. Yeah. And a lot of people, when they read our name, they always say, is it Magnate? But it's clearly Magnate. And the beauty in it is the definition in the word, because Magnate means to be influential and wealthy, especially in business. And that is exactly what we and our why, or, the reasons why we want to help and serve people, but more so to put others in that same position. True. And so it just made sense that everything Magnate. So our investment company is Magnate, our real estate brokerage is Magnate, the mortgage brokerage is Magnate. Magnate. Other things we have working is our Magnate. So
because we want to attract.
Everything is right.
And when you first think of a magnet, it attracts.
That's the root word.
That's the root of it. A magnet. What is a magnate? What is a magnet? We want to attract other influential, wealth, like-minded individuals who want to grow.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
about growth mindset. So and that's what we're looking to do. We want to develop our company, our brand, but also develop other individuals around it and develop our market.
And I feel like we have the experience not only from the celebrations that we've had, but also the trials and the tribulations. And I think if we really sit back and think about it, this really set itself up to what we're doing now, because the way that we generate leads for our real estate brokerage, and it really stemmed from the way that we were helping other investors find properties. So I'm so excited to be able to be on this platform and really give people this information, because it's not, something, always people, I'm going to pay $9.95 for a course. And I'm not knocking it.
I think there's some
you get your money. It definitely is.
There's some value in that, and I'm not going to knock that. But
I think we just have a reason and a purpose of serving. Yeah. So it hits a little bit different, because we understood and understand the struggle of having to go through things to understand how you do it better.
I'm going to take it further, because if it, what's the whole, to reach one, teach one. Someone invests their time for us to do research. So I think it's our time to pay it forward.
Yeah.
So why not, give someone the time, because not everyone has it. But I'm not going to knock their hustle, because
I'm not knocking. Everybody get money.
If that's what their
young people get paid.
If that's your thing, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead, sister, do your thing. But you got to start somewhere. And sometimes you just need a boost.
Yeah.
Some information, some little nugget someone has that might be free. That may just be just enough information to get someone started.
And that's why I'm so excited for us to do this platform, because we've had people reach out and say, hey, would you do this? Or could you do these courses? And not necessarily, it just has to align with the purpose. And like I said, we have a purpose and a heart of servitude. So we want to serve and help as many people or touch as many people as possible, and making them a believer of what they thought was unthinkable and changing lives. That's it. So what better way to talk about it, have real life examples here featured on our podcast, The Magnate Agent.
Well, I think we have real people.
Yeah, real people, real results.
So like the dude sitting back here with the man behind the camera, behind the lens, he can attest to our, we want to make Black greatness. But not only that, not just, let's take the color out of it. We want to make great investors. Mm-hmm. Because whether you're buying a home to live in and invest, it's still an investment, because that investment could in turn change your life. Yeah. You invest in the right property at the right time in the right neighborhood, and you stay there for a set amount of period of time. Just imagine those people who purchased homes in 2017, 2018, 2019, and all of a sudden they bought in the right location. And all of a sudden they're sitting on probably 5, 10, 15 times what their property probably was worth when they purchased it in, which probably exceeds their expectation. Yeah. You think they purchased those homes that may have been worth, we have a friend of ours, your personal friend, purchased home at the right time. They're sitting on so much equity right now, it could be life-changing. It really is. Mm-hmm. It's life-changing, people, the amount of equity someone's sitting on if they purchase home at the right time. So think about this, man. We're able to pass along knowledge, and people can actually put a face behind who is Magnate. Yeah. What is Brianna? Who is Brianna Green? What does she do?
I was just going to ask you, what can people expect to learn from you as a mortgage broker, as a official? Because one thing, we're putting all these accolades, but just know that none of this starts without our most highest title, which is husband and wife.
But I give all credit to God first, because without him, I think he instills a certain talent with each individual. And then if we utilize that talent, it's going to grow. And if we're able to utilize our talent of leadership and teaching and mentorship, we provide opportunities and a platform for others to say, hey man, let me go back and look at that podcast where they're talking about, hey, real estate investing, how do I get into it? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's all easy, because it ain't. And we can tell you personally about a property or properties or other pitfalls we may have had, to go along with the successes. Everybody likes to talk about the big commissions and stuff like that. Always celebrate your wins, I'll tell you that. But there's always educations in those victories as well as those losses. You got to admit your losses. And too many times we want to talk about celebrate the losses, but there's education. There's price of education as those defeats. Because how else can you have those celebrations, those victories, without going through some of the struggles, without going through some of the, some of those L's we talk about, those losses, mm-hmm. those setbacks that we may encounter, because it's part of business, so.
Yeah, well, I'm excited to have an opportunity, because I want people to get to know a little bit more about me, and what I'm looking to do as far as this community, because one of the big things right now that we're nurturing is Four Lady Social, which is a golf community. And I think it's important to also be able to expand your network. And that's why I said the people that will be able to come here and be featured on our podcast is allowing that network to grow. And that's one of my biggest things of what I want to highlight. In addition to just having a release where I can just come and talk about the things that I'm going through and what I'm experiencing as it relates to real estate.
But also, things. I'll give you another thing we're passionate about. I'm a disabled veteran, so I'm passionate about the veteran community. Mm-hmm. We're passionate about it. I'm part of the local disabled veterans chapter here, chapter 26 in Huntsville, Alabama. And so we invest back into the veteran community because we know what it is to be a part of that community. We know what it is, the price a lot of us paid who serve. So we like being a part of those conferences and you know, giving back and to our veterans in our community. I think we make sure we're very active in that. So, and also, you know, given that knowledge, you know, buying a home is a tough feat, right? Because it seems very
not the Magnate way.
It seems very intimidating, right? It really is. And buying a home is very intimidating. So, you know, of course, we want to break it down not just for veterans. Of course, I'm always telling, you know, because buying a house as a veteran a little bit different. Just do some of the additional paperwork we may be required. And however, I think the current market dictates that mortgages look a little bit different than they used to be. Mm-hmm. You know, traditional mortgages, what we say, conventional down, and we need this with the down payment system programs and other programs, way to buy homes, way to invest in homes. There's so much things that we can discuss on how to educate people instead of having a one way of thinking I can buy a home this way or this one way I can sell a home this way. And I think it's a great way a platform to share that knowledge with other investors, other first-time home buyers or a seasoned home buyer. Drop some knowledge about what it takes to get pre-approved. Well, what does that mean? What's the difference between a pre-qualification? What's the difference between a pre-approval?
Yeah, that's good.
When they say you're approved with conditions, what does that mean?
Yeah, and from the real estate broker transaction side, I would say that that's so needed. During our consultations with whether it be a seller or buyer, you'd be surprised at what people don't know just because you do this every day and you know it. So going back to the basics is, I think, one of those value added items where people can truly understand this and not just go off the propaganda or the other, you know, tainted type of clickbait videos. This is actually something that is tangible, resourceful, and that can propel you if
Something
you do
of
the
substance.
steps. Exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, when I run a dealership, you remember when we ran a dealership, one thing I used to say often was execute the basics brilliantly.
Yep. I say that a lot at the brokerage.
It was like on repeat. And the reason why I say execute the basics brilliantly, sometimes we put too much in to want to look like James Harden or LeBron James. I mean, we want to make the flashy pass or the flashy look at me type of, and really, if you go out and do your job and Bill Belichick this thing, just do it basic. Just do the basics, and people that do the basic and execute them the right way, it becomes process oriented. For you Alabama fans out there, you know exactly what Nick Saban talks about, the process.
And you know I love a good process. I love a good process because I think that's the only way that you can step by step grow. It's that 1%.
Any successful person that shares success to tell you one thing is be regimented in your processes. You show me one successful person, and one very first they tell you is, hey, what's your process? And Nick Saban, and the reason why he's the winningest football coach to ever, in a period. He dominated college football for the last decade plus based on what? His process. You buy into his process, I'll show you how we can win. The only reason I'm talking about that school because my daughter's going there, okay? So, you know.
Otherwise, it'll be War Eagles.
Hey, man, leave the S off. So, you know, but I just really want you to think about it. You know, you got to have, what is your process to success? Do you have dreams or you have goals? I'm going to tell you, I don't have dreams. I have goals. You know, what is your ambition to be in when you actually in your career, and how invested are you in it? And if you're not dedicated to understanding the basics of it and mastering that, then, you know, you're limiting your growth, you're stunning it, because it's not all about the flashy passes. Because, I mean, majority of your time is going to be spent executing the basics and dominating those basics. Because the really great salespeople are the ones that understand, if I execute the basics and I stick to this process, it's shown that I'm going to be successful. And I'll just be rigid in it. Let me give you one. Walt Disney World. Right? I've been to Disney training when I was in the car business. They talked about one thing that they have. They have the highest retention rate out of anything. You name one place that more people want to talk about returning to, if you've ever been there. 75% of the people that visit Disney World return back. And it's the most expensive place to vacation. They never say they're cheap.
And I don't even think they...
Do they apologize for knocking you in the head? You know what they tell you? Have a magical day. Hey, let me see that. Oh, give me a bottle of water. Doop, $9.95. With a smile, right? And guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna pay that $9.95. You got that smart pay now. You scan your watch. Boop. Thank you. Have a magical day. So the whole thing is, people are more in tune, not in value. It's more of, what am I getting for what I'm paying for? Mm-hmm. They see a perceived value in how clean Disney is when you go there. Right?
And that's what you're selling, the same type of process.
You're selling a process where it's, hey man, you know, I know when you do business with Magnate, official Magnate mortgage team, you do business with Magnate real estate, you do business with Magnate home buyers, we're going to be rigid in our process and we're going to deliver a great product to you. And
I'm real big on process.
And we're going to do it without apology. You know, if you give us what we asked you for, then we're going to deliver a finished product to you. Is it perfect? We try to be. But along the way, we're going to explain, if we can't get to where we say we're going to be explanation behind it, right?
So people can expect learning.
Yeah.
I would call them case studies, because I said I want to release. I need to, and trust when I say release, it's more so what I've learned from that, more so than I'm just going to say how I feel. It's what I learned from it, because every situation, every opportunity is a learning experience. And I think that'll be great.
You know, it'd be really cool. So you talk about case studies. We can actually pull up our deals and bring out the a particular altar. Hey, let's take this off and talk about this particular deal, and we can elaborate upon it and give a play-by-play.
Don't give too many goodies, but we are so excited that you guys are here and now interested in the Magnate Agent. If you've watched this video this long, that means that somewhere along the way that you found value. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. And if you have a question about real estate, do not hesitate to reach out to us. Until next time, remember that luxury is not a price point, but a level of service.